Hi, Mark. Could you please introduce yourself, your role within ASL, and most importantly, a brief introduction about how your company deals with and focuses on the sale of document solutions?
Absolutely. I'm Mark Asbridge. I'm the Solution Sales Manager for ASL. Our business is having a heavy focus on our digitization and our automation of our document solutions. That's basically looking at our customers' requirements and understanding what they're doing with the document. We're no longer just focusing on just a printed piece of paper. We're looking at how that document then travels through the company. And what we're doing is we're starting to interact with that process and understand their whole end-to-end solution. And that's at the point where we're starting to educate our customers and saying to them, look, well, rather than just clicking print, is there a better way of doing that? Does that need to go via certain processes? Can we extract information? Can we route that? So what we're looking at doing all the times with our document management solutions is automating those processes for our customers and looking at trying to save time and inefficiencies and more importantly, data accuracies.
Okay, Mark, so could you highlight any sort of specific features in Ubunye's software solution suite that you sell that you found your customers and clients appreciate, that have significantly contributed to the sort of success in our partnership between ASL and Ubunye?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously Ubunye has a multi-platformed solution from sort of a Vika with Scanner Vision and with the integrations of the two products. What it basically enables us to do is it gives a complete package to our customers. So where you've got particular customers where they're after capturing print data directly from their computer, rather than actually scanning in, you've got that platform there that can directly extract and take that information and then interject that into a workflow. So when we look at products, what we're always after is how they can collaborate between each other rather than just being a separate and individual product. So it's a really key point to us is that they need to be able to integrate, and that's where Ubunye's suite of application comes into place, because you can build the three products together really efficiently and basically produce a nice end-to-end solution for the customers. And I sort of mentioned about the printing part there, because again, when we start to look at digitizing services for customers, that they don't want to basically be able to print something and then scan it in to then complete the workflow. Some applications can be a little bit complex when it comes around to producing PDF files to be able to capture. So to have the features where we can actually go file print as they've always been used to seeing, it enables us to capture that into a workflow really efficiently without too much interaction and education to the users. Then it follows into this digitizations where we can then look at extracting out that information and routing it. So for me, what our customers and clients really appreciate is understanding how those products can interlink and basically make it as a complete solution for them.
Okay, Mark, so could you share with us any specific sort of customer success stories and sort of notable achievements where you've used our software that's brought benefits to the customer and ASL through our partnership?
Absolutely, and what I like to start off with is let's talk about a simple workflow, because sometimes when people talk about digitizations and workflows and integrations, they think of a very complicated, a very time-consuming process what users have to go through. And I'd like to explain a little bit about one of our logistics companies that reached out to us, who were basically struggling to scan and archive their delivery notes when they went out every day. They were in a process basically where they went out, they completed all the deliveries, they got all the signatures, and they used to return those documents back into reception of the business. Unfortunately, it was taking them the reception maybe a week or two to then scan those documents in. So if there was ever any queries regarding the delivery or who signed for it, or was it completed, or any particular notes, they were finding that really difficult to try and get that appropriate information. So simply all they wanted was, when they walked up to the photocopier, they wanted a drop-down list of the delivery drivers' names. And then when that scanned through into SharePoint, we then pre-formatted that with the date, the time, the month, along with the driver's name. It was then OCR'd, so through SharePoint we can then do content search, and it just completely revolutionized their entire processes. So what was taking a week or 2 weeks to then complete it was being completed almost instantly, because the drivers came back in, they put it through the document feeder, and it was there, it was done. And at no point was there that user interaction. So it really completely revolutionized their entire process, and really sped up their times and efficiencies. And then you say, we've got a simple one, and then you have where you start getting a little bit more complicated and a bit more integrated, and that's where we've had other companies in finance, and what they do is they receive all these invoices and receipts from multiple countries, and obviously because it's got multiple countries, it's got multiple currency codes, and then it has the unique reference number of each individual one of those documents. And on this document, it could be anywhere on the page, because they were dealing with multiple locations. What we then had to do was basically write expressions, regular expressions within the system to find and extract that data, and then do content search, and then extract that appropriate information. And then we then routed that into a folder, ready for their back-end accounts package to pick up that PDF where the file was named appropriately, and then it routed through to their process. So for me, the most beneficial and the most achievable things is the versatilities of the products, where you can have a really, really simple workflow, or actually you can start doing some really clever and really quite complicated stuff to meet your customers' requirements.
Excellent, thank you for that. So, thinking about our partnership and our relationship, so in terms of our collaboration and support, how have Ubunye been able to support your teams with training, ongoing technical support to ensure the smooth integration and implementation of our solutions?
So, as you can imagine from ASL, we deal with an awful lot of partners. We have over 13 different software solutions that we have available to us. And I will say clearly that Ubunye's support is one of the best. I always remember when we first started talking about our partnership, and I remember you talking about the sort of support levels that you would offer us. And always everybody says, oh, they can offer this level of support. But it's quite rare that is met or equally exceeded. The times that I've created a support ticket through your platform, and I get a response within, I don't know, sometimes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and it's not a generic standard response of have you tried turning it off and turning it on again. Yeah. The sort of support teams that this is going to is, they're devs. They understand the product. They know exactly what to do. And normally the first response back to me is the exact answer of what I require. And sometimes I'll have to say I felt a little bit silly by the fact that they come back that quickly with quite an easy response. But the support team from a technical aspect is absolutely fantastic. And without that, it would just delay that process for us. And obviously we've got the pre-sale support as well. So when we're talking to customers and when we start getting into a little bit more in depth, or we're after particular integrations, we've got all those support channels there ready for us, where you basically engage within our conversations with us, support us through that entire process, just to make sure that when we go to deliver the product, that the product is exactly on mark, and we complete all those processes.
Fantastic, thank you. Mark, so how has partnering with Ubunye improved ASL's ability to meet the changing needs of your clients in their document processing needs? And we're talking here about your existing clients and obviously the new clients that you're starting to engage with. Absolutely.
So it's giving us a completely different range of products that we can kind of talk to our customers about. What we like to do is we always want to understand exactly what our customers' needs are and what their requirements are. I always have a bit of a saying, is the right product for the right place. And that's where Ubunye's platform comes in. They have from capturing from the users, either mobile phones or desktop, through to the automation and then the document archiving at the same time. And what it does is it allows us to confidently talk to our customers and give them an understanding that it can be an end-to-end solution for them. It meets their digitization processes of even completely removing the paper, not ever having to print it. so it's a life cycle of a print or a document or a printed document. It is capturing anything from anywhere and then automatically categorizing and routing and at the end of it, storing those particular documents. So it's giving us additional products that we can talk to our customers about and make sure that not only are we delivering the right product, but we're meeting the customer's requirements.
So finally, Mark, I'd like you to explain, if you can, how you use our products internally. Now, from Ubunye's point of view, when our resellers and partners use our software internally, that's the greatest advert for our product. So if you can, could you please explain how you're using it and the benefits that it brings to ASL?
So at ASL, we've actually got 2 instances of Ubunye platforms installed. And the main reason is that because we've got 2 different operations of how we're using the products. So the first one is quite a standard process that most of our customers kind of use. And what we're doing to start off with is we've got it integrated into MyQ, and we're basically capturing all the documents from the MFD. That's then going into a couple of different processes. But the first one it goes through is forms recognition. So we do an awful lot of scanning of status pages or delivery notes or invoices. And what we want to be able to do is route them into SharePoint and categorize them correctly. But we can get thousands of pages a day. So for our users to manually sit there and scan them in and put them into correct folders, and it's a massively time-consuming process. But utilizing forms recognition, it goes through and it analyzes that big bundle. It will then split each individual bundle pack into its own separate file, and it will then route it into a status pages. It will route it into a delivery note. It will delete it into the status pages. It takes all these individual files out. And through that process as well, it will then convert that document into a searchable PDF file. So when it hits into SharePoint, our users can then find a serial number, or they can find a date stamp, or they can find a delivery note reference number. So it's basically completely streamlining those processes, because previously the time that it took them, and now they just put a big bundle pack in the photocopier, scan it through. And again, a part of that process is we put in there some error handling. So basically what it means is that if it can't match a particular form, it then outputs it into another workflow, and that workflow basically emails that individual document back to the users to say, by the way, I couldn't classify this document, please can you process it manually. So that way it is completely digitizing that process, and it saved them hours of time. We've also got that linked into when we want to do like document conversion. So we will scan in a piece of paper, and we want that to be a Word file, an Excel file. We want to be able to kind of convert that into a bit more of a usable feature and functionality. So that's really the core of what most of our users interact with. Mm-hmm. However, there's this whole entire background system that, to be honest, not many people at the company know, apart from the people that need to know. And that is our whole entire billing system for meter readings and toner. Now, when we changed our systems recently, we needed to capture data from multiple platforms, because at ASL we deliver it's about 7 or 8 different manufacturers. So we have all of these different cloud platforms that we're utilizing. When we've done acquisitions, they're using a different DCA collection product. So we've got all of this data that's been emailed and sent from different sources. And what we need to do is a better way of collating all of that information and then routing that and standardizing that. And that's basically where we've utilized Ubunye's solutions to capture from a dedicated mailbox and from individual folders, because we've got rules within that mailbox. So there'll be a folder that says with attachments, there's a folder that says without attachments, and that will then basically denote which workflow that will then go through. Through those workflows, we'll have classifications, so we can put conditions made on them to state, is it from Kyocera, is this email from Rico, whatever the platform that it's coming through. And without going too technical, we will then link that into something called PowerShell. And within PowerShell, it's a scripting language that ScannerVision supports. It basically enables you to do pretty much anything that you could possibly dream of within a particular workflow. So you can really bespoke the entire process to automate and to change the files of the information that you're receiving. And then basically we then process that into a database, and then from that database everything's then handled, and then we then, on the scheduled process, that data is then extracted with the key information that we require, which is then routed into our back-end system. And that has saved our manual processes hours. There's not even a number that I can even think of actually saying to say the time that it saved us, but it's the quality that we've been able to deliver to our customers. For me, that's the most valuable number, is that we're delivering stats every 4 hours, whereas before it was every day or every 2 days. So we've gone from this entire manual process to 4 hours. We're handling within the system, we're nearly about 2.6 million lines of data within the database that Ubunye software platform is traversing that information across. And it has been the most stable platform ever. It sits in the background, we monitor it, we've got some reporting that goes through it, but it's a platform that just sits there and it just works day in, day out without any issues at all. That gives us at ASL complete confidence in it for us to use, as well as for us to sell to our customers.
That's great. Thank you very much for that, Mark. It's good to hear. Okay, Mark. Well, that wraps up the questions and the interviews. I'd like to thank you very much for your time, and ASL for the continued partnership with Ubunye, which I hope continues for many years to come.
Absolutely. I mean, as I say, it's been a pleasure working with yourself, Brian, and all of your teams at Ubunye. The support that you give us is absolutely paramount. It's been a fantastic process that we've gone through over the years, and we really have some great success stories from our customers. So long may the partnership continue.
Fantastic. Thanks for your time.
Brilliant. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks a lot.